Luke Weaver signs with the Mets, 2 years, 22 million. That now I think I saw the tweet the other day with Clay Holmes, Devin Williams, and now Luke Weaver. They have the Yankees three last closers, one being Clay Holmes now in the starting rotation, who's pitching for Team USA in the WBC actually.
Hmm.
But now the Mets. I'm not going to sit here and say that the Yankees don't take the Mets past players, but I have to admit it's pretty odd the amount that they do. I think David Stern, but I guess that's something that says that the Yankees do have quality players on their team, despite what some fans may feel about them. I guess that's how I'm sort of rationalizing it. But it's funny to see that he right before he signed, I think the day before, we heard reports that the Yankees were thinking about a reunion with Weaver, but obviously he goes to the Mets. And maybe it's just that these players want to stay in New York and they don't really want to move, and the Mets are just like, yes, we'll pay you. And that's sort of how I see it. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's kind of funny to me, because I feel like Yankees fans and Mets fans, some of them get like legitimately angry and go back and forth and like compare the lists of the guys who they've signed. It's like at the end of the day, it's not that deep. It's not that serious. Like
No.
the only one that really I think has been super serious for either side was obviously Juan Soto. It's a unique situation. So like the Clay Holmes, the Devin Williams, and the Luke Weaver, like I think it's a funny little anecdote that the Mets have our last three closers on the roster now. But to me, I guess the only thing that makes it a little weird is that all of their tenures with the Yankees ended not great. Like I know Devin Williams bounced back as a setup man, but he ultimately was a failure with the Yankees. Luke Weaver, loved the guy, had a great 2024, but he was unpitchable by the end of the season. And then Clay Holmes, everyone remembers his 2024, which again, he did have bounce back and have a nice playoffs as a setup man similar to Williams, but he was removed from a closer role after easily his worst year as a Yankee. So it's kind of the Mets paying these guys a lot, waiting for them to bounce back that I think kind of interests me. But at the end of the day, I'm glad the Yankees didn't do any of those deals because I don't believe in paying relief pitchers in general, much less giving them that amount of money hoping they bounce back. So ever since the Chapman, Britton, Ottavino teams, I'm a proponent of pay your starters and then find the next Clay Holmes or Luke Weaver, or these kind of diamonds in the rough type guys. I think that's how Cashman should and will operate. So I trust him. I know it was a down year for the bullpen last year, but I do trust him to fill out that pen in a little bit more of an efficient way than handing these guys, all this money.
No, yeah, that was the one thing with the Williams contract looking at, and I guess maybe even the Diaz contract is a lot. I know it's a shorter contract, but even there, you see the Dodgers, you're no longer. The Dodgers said, we'll give you 3 years and we'll give you a shit ton of money for those 3 years. And we know that there's deferred money in there because they're the Dodgers. But it's paying those contracts that we once saw for relievers that were monstrous. I think teams are smartening up and they're just not necessarily going to do that as much. Unless, Diaz makes sense because he's just probably the best closer in the sport. And then the Yankees look back and they say, oh, we have Bednar. And Bednar is an excellent closer, and now we're going to have him for a full season. So they were comfortable in letting that happen. And then also just the factor of the whole, maybe less so with Weaver, obviously with Devin Williams, the relationship was just burned between the fans, and we'll see how Mets fans adjust because they're probably not going to be much nicer if he doesn't perform well.